Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome
Good
back
day.
to True North Garage Talk. Chad and Adam here, and we thought today we'd talk about a couple of cool Jeeps that we built, and I don't know, kind of the versatility of the Jeeps when you sit down and you actually understand that these are identical chassis, identical bodies, but two totally different builds. So
Completely different for now.
yeah, for now, for now.
What we started with is we've got the GCM Skeleton chassis here. I mean, if you want a chassis that is very performable, fun to drive. I mean, this has got to be one of my favorite chassis to drive around. But gives you that availability to have a super scale build. GCM's the place to go. GCM Racing is absolutely amazing. So we've got two Skeleton chassis here. This one's kind of got a neat story to it. Chris at GCM had come up with the SD2 axles. So he had given me this chassis with the new prototype axles on it and said, beat them up. So we did. We beat the crap out of this truck. This truck has been through everything from heavy clay to sand to snow to multiple times it's been in water, swamps, rocks. We even gave it to a friend of ours, Scaletown, Chris Rappel, and he drove this thing, I think, for a week or two, and got some really cool video on it. You can find that on his YouTube channel. And again, I told him, drive it. So it certainly got its workout. And these axles that are on it, I mean, I've had this thing for, it's got to be over a year now.
Yeah, a year and a half now.
These axles are still the exact way they were when Chris put them on this chassis. I haven't done anything to them other than spray them with some WD-40 now and then. And they're not even sealed, these ones. These were just the prototypes. So you go from that, and then you start looking at these bodies. So I believe they're Injoorna.
Yeah, these are the Injoorna bodies.
So the Skeleton chassis is designed for this type of wheelbase. Chris has a Patreon site for GCM Racing that you can go onto, and for a very, very small fee, you get the availability of all of his 3D printed parts and designs for these bodies. So like this one here is a simple, and it's done. It's ready to go. So you get all of the, I guess you would call them skid plates.
Yep, sliders.
Yeah, the sliders, you get the clips for the body, everything you can find on his Patreon site. So this body here is box stock. I added a driver and a dog, added the 3D printed parts and put it on the chassis, and boom, you've got a scale truck that's ready to drive. I did not have to do any modeling to this Jeep whatsoever. It's got a very, very scale spare tire on the back of it. When you buy the body, it all comes with it. I added some lights. That's it. It was a quick truck and ready to go.
You got the True North RC badge package on it too, which offsets it.
We offer tons of badging for your vehicles here. We have all the square body ones, Jeep, the European cars, some fun ones like the Fringe Minority badge that we just did. But also too, if you want custom badges, if you want something that's completely different, we will draw them up for you, and we will make them so that it will make that custom build of yours perfect.
It's all laser etched out of plastic, right? So it's not like a printed off of a printer or anything of that nature.
The badges are laser etched. It's on a material that's essentially plastic with a metallic covering, so it gives you that real aluminum look. If you look at the badges we make and look at a lot of the newer vehicles on how their badges are made, it's exactly the same thing. Yeah. 100%.
No, they look good. They offset it, and that's the key, right? As we were saying earlier about how do you make a build, whether it's a stock build or more of an off-road build or an extreme build, stand out. And it's the small things like badges, license plates, right? Wheels, those very subtle things that if you're a truck guy or a Jeep guy or whatever it is, you're going to notice those things, and it helps to set the build off. So,
and don't be afraid to use a small tire. I mean, we all started out in the RC, and we had monster truck tires, right? Like, I mean, every RTR that I had 4.75s on it.
Big 2.2s.
You get a chassis like this, and this has got the stock Jeep RC four-wheel drive rims, and then it's got the Falcon Wild Peak MT tires, which is a very stock look. This would be like a Jeep with 35s on it, right?
Absolutely.
This Jeep performs amazingly. I've actually out-trailed a lot of the Traxxas RTRs with this Jeep, and the small tires are fun.
I think most of our builds have gone to that tiny
tire.
It's
like playing Tetris on the trail.
Yeah, exactly. It adds an element of fun, I think, and there's a bit more challenge too, right? Like we've all had the big 2.2s, we've had the the SEX 10.2s or 10.3s,
or the
with
SEX 6 with
monster tires, and you kind of go up and down. And I think with the smaller scale tire and the more scale build, it just adds an element of challenge.
Well, your
It's a bit
throttle
more fun.
control, your wheel placement, all that stuff matters when you start going to a small scale tire.
Yeah, you're not just powering through it at that point.
But if you enjoy the bigger tires, trail on, have some fun. It's all about pulling triggers and smiling, right?
100%.
So you do what you enjoy.
Exactly. So Chad wanted to do a stock build. Reminded him of Jeep from back in the day. It was kind of how he wanted to build it. And I was sitting there one day thinking, well, I want to build a Jeep too. But I'm going to do it a little bit more, what I like to laugh and call kind of the weekend warrior Jeep, right? So, you're probably not out doing the most extreme trail, but you're definitely out having fun. So what I came up with was this Jeep. And much to what Chad said was, and why we wanted to show you guys was, you've got two very unique Jeeps that are built off of the exact same platform. So this is, again, the GCM Skeleton, identical platform to what Chad has. This is the Injoorna 2-door body, identical body to Chad's, but that's kind of where the similarity is between the two stops. So I wanted to be a little bit different, so I did brute the body. So bruting the body includes, removing the back half of the cab.
Let me grab this.
Moving it forward.
One that's in the works.
Yeah, so we've got one that's in the works here as well. So I bruted this one. I added the tube doors to it. The tube doors are all 3D printed through True North again. We added a tonneau cover to the back because, if you're going to have a brute. And then in the back side as well, hard to see, but we've filled the bed full of cool little accessories and things that make it stand out a little bit. What's very unique about this as well is my battery placement. Actually, the back tray comes out and battery gets hit up underneath the front of the cab here. Tray goes back down, and then you have a hidden battery, and you don't have to worry about it. And it makes for a very quick, very easy battery change as well while you're on the trail, which is great.
And I mean, we've been trailing for so many years now. It's always nice to have a rig. You don't have to take the body off to change the battery.
Yeah.
It's nice and quick. Pull one out of the pack, put a new one in, and turn it on.
Exactly. And then did some scale work on the interior, so we painted it up really nice. Did some patterns on the seats. Got a little jacket in there and a hat and all that fun stuff. Winch on the front, and of course you got to have the jack on the front as well.
Where are the lights from? Because those are very cool.
Those are, I'm trying to remember, they came out of the parts box. I think I got them from Paris Junction. They were just like a little tiny 12-volt LED accessory, wired it into the remaining light kit on it, so they kind of come on at the same time. I can't remember what brand they are, though, to be quite honest with you.
Really neat.
Yeah, they're not a bad looking. It's hard to find a scale looking light. Usually when you get them, they're much larger.
Really big.
I went with the 155 Pitbull Rock Beast on this one. Very similar in size to what Chad's running with the Falcons.
The outer diameter is the same size.
Yeah, outer diameter is the same size. I think they're a little bit wider. And then the other thing I did, which is probably not going to be able to pick up, is I like to do the rock guard simulation. So the grill, each of the wheel wells, the fenders, the roof rack, and so forth. It's all got kind of a textured rock guard finish to it.
And it's actually a really easy finish to get. A lot of guys wonder how you get that scale rock guard look on it. Go buy the Canadian Tire cheap bed liner.
Absolutely.
And all you have to do is hold it back about, say, 18 inches and just give it quick bursts. And because it's so far away, that splatter pattern will be a scale rock guard look. It's very, very simple.
And the key is what Chad said is it's got to be you got to be quick bursts. So you're not holding the trigger. You're not doing it like you're doing a paint job. It literally is and you're going to do 2 or 3 layers of it as well. Your first layer, you're going to still see color through it. With your second layer, you shouldn't see color, and the third layer is where you really start building that texture back out. And it's just little things like that that make builds stand up.
Well, there's a lot of things too. Like Adam mentioned quickly, parts boxes. You've all got those extra part boxes, and sometimes you never know what's in there and what you can use for a build. Like you've got something here that's not a bought product. Well, it is, but it's a part out of your parts box that holds your sand ladders on.
Yeah, so the sand ladders are, I can fully remove them. Just got to flip the lid here, and you'll see I've got the sand ladder mounts are on a spring, so I can lift the sand ladder mount, pull the sand ladders off. But what I use for sand ladder mounts is, and maybe you'll see and maybe you won't, they were off of an old set of shocks that I had, and I don't know if they were Desert Lizards or whatnot, but on those shocks they had a refillable reservoir.
Okay.
And to connect the reservoir to the shock body, it had these teeny little metal brackets. And like Chad said, used them until I didn't need them anymore, threw them in the parts box, and the other day I was sitting down at the bench trying to figure out how am I going to mount these, because you go to an event, it's great to have the accessories, but it's also cool to be able to say, yeah, I've got sand ladders and I can pull them off if I need them, right? They're not just glued to the body.
Certain events, like say for example the GCM Adventure Series, you need to have so many non-working scale items, and you need to have so many working scale items. So when you have something like that, the sand ladders are removable, the winches are usable, so you get through all of this stuff and you end up adding points to your card through Tekken. So it's always nice to have that, or an opening panel like a door. I love the GoPro, by the way.
Cool. Got a little GoPro on there, so it might be a bit hard to see. But we also 3D print GoPros, and then on the back side you won't be able to see as we do little images as well. So it looks like it's shooting over the front fender there and capturing a nice wooded scene in the front. But I think the key is just to have fun with these, right? So
it's all about fun,
right? And we continue to push ourselves. So our big thing right now is, we're going to a lot of scale events, and we're doing a lot of fun stuff. But we want to be able to have all of our scale accessories now removable from the rigs. And this is kind of a competition between me and Chad. So that's where we come up with like spring-loaded mounts for our sand ladders, right? It's something you'd probably see in the real life. It's something that we kind of tinkered with, and so we're always pushing each other. I think.
I think one of the things I enjoy doing with the modeling aspect of the hobby is every time I build a new truck or car, I always like to try something I've never tried before.
Yes.
It might work, it might not. Like, believe me, I've tried some certain weathering techniques that ended up just changing a build completely, and out the door it goes to something else, right? So,
but that's how you learn, right? If you don't be afraid to try something. We all know these things cost a lot of money. The bodies aren't cheap, but you're gonna try something one day, and I think that's half of weathering. We were just saying, right? Is
one of the things you can do when it
error.
comes to weathering is, at the hobby shop they sell very small sheets of styrene for pennies, and you can pick that up and you can practice on the styrene sheets, and you can find multiple techniques on YouTube to try weathering. So don't be afraid to pick some of those styrene sheets up and just goof around and have some fun with it before you attack what are these, $100 for a body, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Something like
and
that.
ask. Chad and myself or anybody. Most people in the RC hobby, you've got a question, ask them. Maybe they won't give you the full technique, but most people are willing to help others learn because, we've all been there. We're still there.
Well, one of the most fun things for me is at these events are the galleries. To see people's builds and to see how they progress over the years, and to see some of the crazy ideas. There was a guy at Warsaw that had some amazing airbrush work on his tail.
Oh yeah.
There's so many different ideas out there that blow my mind. So if we're not sharing ideas, those ideas are never growing. So don't be afraid to ask questions, or if you have a really cool idea, share it online. Show the newbies on how to do that certain technique. So maybe they'll take your idea and make it 10 times different, and then give you a new idea. So always share these ideas.
I think that's the key, is just ask the question, right? I mean, for the most part, the hobby is full of fantastic people. We've made, I wouldn't even say friends, but lifelong friends in this hobby, family. We've got a great group of people we hang out with, and we refer to each other all the time as family because.
Oh, and how many times have we sat in True North headquarters here and hashed out ideas?
Absolutely.
Had some fun with the machines.
And you'll see a few of those ideas coming up in the episodes. We've got some very interesting builds on the go right now. I might be working on a square body or two that I can't wait to show, and you might be working on.
It's hidden around here somewhere. We've got a good friend of ours that I'm sure everybody knows as far as painting these amazing little trucks, Shiny Shane. So he has my square body dually that I did.
Yep.
And I haven't seen it yet. And he is very secretive when he's painting his masterpieces. So he'll just show up here one day out of the blue and, oh, look, here it is.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure that's not going to be far down the road to see. We've got a pretty unique chassis for that. We've got another build out there that Supa Scale has been working on for a while that should be kicking around sometime shortly in the videos, which we're going to certainly debut that and show you his skill. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned and check out a lot of the neat stuff we're going to be bringing. We've got an event coming up, which we won't say what, but we're going to do a video there as well, and you're going to see some very familiar faces that will say hi to you. So yeah, don't be afraid to drop a comment, like and share, and let us know what you think.
Absolutely, and I think at the event coming up, we're going to be running both of the brutes. So we're going to work to get this brute finished up. We'll have this brute.
Getting there.
and we're going to try to get some amazing scale footage of these guys running around this area. That should be pretty awesome.
Oh,
so
it's going to be amazing.
we. Yeah, I think we're good.
All right,
but
guys.
hey, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it, and have yourselves a good evening.
Have a good night.